Sunny Bunnies is a show about 5 talkless puffballs that barely resemble rabbits, and they do various things and live on a playground. That sounds pretty bland. And let me tell you, that's the farthest thing from the truth. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. That's all they do for 220 episodes across a staggering 9 seasons. I don't know what I expected from this, but this is one of those toddler shows. The kind that the kid can just stare at until there's a globulous layer of drool covering the screen in an opaque veil. The 5 bunnies, which are just puffballs with bunny ears, run around in a few varying locations and just fixate on a random object for 3 whole minutes. That's the best possible synopsis. But what if I told you none of it was real? None of it mattered. The Sunny Bunnies' lives, their activities, their holidays, their passions, none of it is real. They don't live in the world they portray. They don't behave how they actually behave. Do you know why? It's all an act. It's fake. They're actors, playing a role. They are there to beguile you while they make profit. But I guess we should probably rewind a little bit and establish their fake lives. Let's learn to like these pretend caniculi. There are 8 complete seasons with a 9th currently running. But forget that. We're not starting with Season 1 or in the middle with Season 5, nothing like that. There is no time frame. Their faux existence is usually spent in a park. Not just any park, a theme park. But there's also a theater. They have their own Sunny Bunnies cafe, a museum, there's a farm, there's water parks. Except for it's missing all the water, and the girl bunnies suntan, so, I'm no biologist, and my biology class was 6 years ago. Ooh, I feel really old saying that. Either way, you get what I'm trying to say. What are they tanning? Their fur? They can change their fur at will, seen many times, specifically when they go on one of those spinny carnival rides. They don't really need to be tanning. Okay, we're splitting hairs here. Get it? Hairs. Bottom line, most of their lives are spent outside. Let me introduce you to our cast of overgrown pom-poms. This is Turbo. He is stupid and clueless. This is Hopper. Stupider and cluelesser. Iris, stupiderer and cluelesserer. Shiny, stupiderer and cluelesserer. And finally, Big Boo. Stupidest and cluelessest and fat. That's my take on it. To me, they just copy and pasted the characters, switched up the colors, made one rotund, and made 2 of them females. And what do you get when you have 5 inept animals running around human places? Chaos. Absolute, really tiny chaos. They mess stuff up, cause problems for each other, and then they fix it. Are there supposed to be morals in all of it? Not one that I can decipher. I do have to wonder, they live in all these human locations, and there's never a single member of mankind roaming about. Maybe the Sunny Bunnies are a metaphor for something. Like some kind of species ender. Why did the water park have no water? In their free time, they play copious games of sports. Every kind you can think of. Some random sport you've never heard of from some country that most people would say doesn't exist. They've played it. No exaggeration. That is 50% of the show. And the other 50% has something to do with magic. Apparently, these bunnies are magic. Or at least Iris is. She's a witch. I don't know where they developed their witchcraft, but they are all begotten by the sun. So that could have something to do with it, which then also makes the sun tanning have less sense, I think. But I'd like to know how that worked. Did the sun get pregnant? And if so, what is the gestation period? Because of their star lineage, the celestial bunnies glow like they just got done eating uranium. And the coolest part, they can turn off their luminescence at will. That's pretty nifty. There's one episode where Boo wants to eat a fallen star because he has had some star-shaped cookies, but since the sun is his mother and father, wouldn't another star be sort of like a relative or something? At least be the same species? So is that astronomy cannibalism? For everyone's sanity, that probably shouldn't be gone into any further. It's up in the air if the bunnies are actually magic, or if they just use magical items. And, oh my god, they use so many. And they reuse so many. So if you'll please, here is a list of some of the magical items. There is a magical wand, magical doors, a magical helmet, a magical flower, a magical brush, a magical turban, a magical cowboy hat, a magical golf club, magical boots, a magical mirror, a magical potion, a magical carpet, a magical eraser, another magical wand, a magical book, another magical wand again, a magical chalkboard, a magical gumball, a magical flute, a magical lab, a magical sarcophagus with magical mummy paper inside, a magical mask, a 4th magical wand, a magical factory, magical pencils, magical dandelions, another magical wand, magical bubbles, magical fertilizer. Fertilizer, a magical jack-in-the-box, magical stones. I'm not listing anymore, but according to my calculations, there are 7. I repeat, 7 episodes about the magic wand. Switch up the episode ideas or something, please. I'm almost 100% sure I left some out as well. So that list wasn't even everything. And if the episode isn't about a specific item that possesses magical abilities, there are magic themes in the episodes. Like in one of them, they have superpowers. And sometimes the magic isn't even magic. There's an episode called Magic Pop. Being that I'm from the Midwest, that would tell me this episode is about magic soda. But no. Magic Pop is a Candy Crush game they have in the App Store. So they take this entire episode to advertise their dime-a-dozen game. Maybe I missed the memo, but nowhere do I see this show advertised as a magical show. Is that supposed to be implied somewhere? I guess you could say the whole conception from the sun should be some evidence, I guess? But speaking of space, unlike 1969, the Sunny Bunnies go to the moon. Their moon isn't some giant piece of cheese like ours. It's a giant Da Vincian machine that actually doesn't serve much of a purpose. You know what? I'm gonna be controversial here. I don't think the moon actually exists. You people really believe that some chunk of land from the Earth now floats in space? Yeah, think again, bucko. I think we're in a really big cup, and the quote-unquote moon, as everyone else likes to call it, is the straw hole. Go ahead, you can tell me I'm right. Speaking of made-up stuff, they have holidays. Coincidentally, the same ones as we celebrate. Of course, there's Christmas, which means there was a Sunny Bunny Jesus, which then also implies there was a Sunny Bunny crucifixion. They celebrate Christmas just like we do, and they build a snowman, who I named Ripley, and believe it or not, the snowman, of course, becomes sentient. And since there is a Sunny Bunny Jesus, there's a Sunny Bunny Easter to celebrate his Sunny Bunny resurrection. It would have been a missed opportunity to not have them celebrate Easter, of course. They eat chocolate bunnies as part of their celebrations. And that one doesn't sit right. I don't know. We don't eat chocolate humans. So, And since there's Sunny Bunny religion, there's Sunny Bunny religious persecution, leading to a Sunny Bunny Thanksgiving. And then there's also Halloween, Valentine's Day, Bunny's Fool's Day, and they celebrate birthdays. I don't know if there's religion involved with those or not, but whatever their origins are, there's a Sunny Bunny version of it. Okay, so there's one thing I need to shoehorn in here because I can't find a way to segue it. Turbo creates a machine that turns everything into a sphere. Hopper stumbles his way onto it and becomes a sphere. He was already 95% there, but either way, he becomes a soccer ball, and then he can change back to his regular body, and then from there he can change into literally any object he wants to, like Beast Boy but with objects. Why do you need a machine that only makes spheres? Also, why did this happen from a machine that only makes spheres? Magic, of course. That's probably the real answer. Later on he uses the machine again, but this time it generates electricity, and Hopper, once again, is subjected to it, becoming Palpatine 2.0. Now there are a few characters that aren't of the solar rabbit species. Toy Jaw. We've all probably seen one of these. It's just one of those stupid little wind-up toys. Toy Jaw used to be a toy. Guess what? What could have possibly gifted it life? Do we have any guesses? You don't get multiple choice. Starts with M, ends with C. There's also a parrot. However, this parrot is doomed to a talkless show hell, and so because of that, he can't imitate language, only grunts and sighs. Then there's also a little frog, Mimi, and she was just introduced like 5 episodes ago, so who knows where the upcoming seasons will take her. There's also some UFOs, I guess you can call them characters. There should be some backstory to be had about their life in space. I'd love it if there was some gruesome backstory that these 5 bunnies are the only remaining 5, after the UFOs decimated their species and now they're hunting the remaining 5. I mean, hey, if you guys want to make a Sunny Bunnies movie, you got your plot. Then there's a relatively main character introduced a few seasons into the show. Its name is Smarty, or Smarty. I'm gonna call him Smarty. He's a robot, so there's many like him, and they were all dropped off in their park. Their job is to clean. That's their only job. Once their job was finished, all Smarty robots left the park, except for they left one, and that one has been stuck with the bunnies ever since. Still, all he does is clean. They tend to take advantage of Smarty from time to time. Okay, maybe every time, they've made the poor robot an indentured servant. And the final character is the big gray wolf. He lives on the moon, so he's a fellow celestial creature. He heads to Earth and wants to eat the bunnies. He's the only actual antagonist. In his very few appearances, he tries to cook and kill the bunnies, and honestly, I think I'm rooting for him. I sorta wish these bunnies would get immolated. Not that it would even work because they're sun creatures. The wolf listens to a gramophone. Where'd he get that? And why is that his preferred method of music? One could only wonder. In one episode, their world is made slightly video gamey, and he works with the bunnies to try and fix it. And in a few episodes later, he appears for the last time and doesn't do anything. And he doesn't get any conclusion. That was 7 seasons ago, so he's long gone. But it doesn't matter. None of it matters. None of this is real. Their world isn't real. I'm not just saying this to be nihilistic or to make a joke of it, and I'm not saying it because it's a show. I know it's a show, but we're talking about their in-universe. It's not real. The bunnies are actors. They know they're on camera. All of the magic items are special effects and CGI. The wolf, Smarty, the animals, they're all trained actors. All the places they go are just set locations. The water park didn't have water because their budget was low. In one episode, they break a rainbow. The rainbow isn't even in the sky, it's just a little arch. It's a set piece, like something you'd see on the set of Barney or Sesame Street. How do I know this? How do you know I'm not just spreading propaganda? At the end of every single episode, there is a blooper reel, albeit small and only a few outtakes every time. It exists nonetheless. They consist of what any behind-the-scenes blooper reel would. They mess up the scene and they do a retake, or something else messes up. I don't need to explain a blooper reel. Then you could say, well, this part is non-canon. This is just an extra little snippet at the end of the episodes to get an extra laugh. Toy Story does this and they aren't canonically actors. Okay, fine. When I learned how to write 5-paragraph essays in school, I learned to cite and explain 2 different pieces of evidence. So I came with backup. There's an entire episode where they watch one of their episodes. On their TV, they just let the episode Magic Wand play, and they bicker about which orientation to sit and watch it. They're watching their own episode. They've been paid to act in that episode, and now they're being paid to watch themselves. This is some weird Inception stuff. There's another episode that's similar in that they produce a mini-movie. They direct, they act, they film it, etc. But they are actors, playing actors. So the big gray wolf character, he's fake. He's just another dude acting. And when they fight the video game head, it's not CGI because it's alive too, so I guess that's just a dude. But he's an actor. The snowman brought to life. Nope. It's just an actor in a costume. Or I suppose it could just be a snowman that is an actor. The Sunny Bunny Jesus in the holidays. A sham. They're just mimicking human holidays. Why are all the locations empty? Because they aren't locations. They are sets. That explains all of this. All of the confusion, all of the magic. The magic is CGI and practical effects. Are they really sun children, or is that for the show too? That one I don't know. But I'm leaning on everything's an act. You know what the Sunny Bunnies are? They're entrepreneurs. They had a 5D theme park ride, and they saw the success of that. So they started their own TV show. What we've been fed is a facade. The kids that watch this aren't smart enough to understand, but they are watching a nihilistic piece of art. A masterpiece in telling a larger narrative. Media is a smoke and mirrors show. They're trying to tell us this. They're trying to tell the young that there's always a bigger scheme. I asked earlier, is there a moral to any of this? There absolutely is. Don't trust so easy. So I commend Sunny Bunnies. What I thought was a really, really stupid and poorly written show is actually an elaborate and intelligent piece of art. But besides all this, there's a time machine episode, and if any of you have seen my videos before, you know I hate time travel, because it creates continuum issues and all that kind of stupid stuff. But I guess I'll explain it because I do like Sunny Bunnies. Oh wait, hang on. Oh geez, looks like we've ran right out of time.